Welcome, race fans, back to SVR. We're back at Suzuka for the latest rounds in the S3 Championship. My name is Webbo, here to enjoy the race alongside all of you. Thank you so much to everybody who's already tuned in. That's Scavvy, Sparky, Lucas. Great to have you with us, and everybody else who has been able to tune in and not yet type a simple hello, but do please join in and make this a fantastic broadcast together live as we are today. So this is how things stand after the first 2 rounds of the 13. Dummy has taken back-to-back wins so far. He's been on alien level and has 37 points in total. Flash managing the 2 second places as well on 30 overall. We've got Zoomroom or Bijan, if I remember correctly. Here we've got Bijan ready to race, and he is in 3rd position on 23 points. Senor Fak has 20 with Funny, who will probably appear as Nicky Lauda with 2 C's, Nicky, rather than a K. On 16 points. Komakopa is in 6th place with 15, with Sock in 7th with 12 points. I'm echoing, right? Okay, I'm not echoing. Thanks, Sparky, for that moment. Always nice to double check, but I appreciate all the audio feedback that I get from everybody. Hopefully, you'll get some car noise in a moment as well. And you had my stream on 2 devices. That's exactly what we want, just not necessarily at the same time. We've got Tequila, who wasn't able to take part last time. He's in 8th place on 10 points, joint with Mappy. Then we've got Dino for Team Mega on 9, joint with Red in 10th place. In joint 12th place is the Coach Dave driver Dirtbag Larry, and the Brokaga driver Uncle Pants. And Phil, with just 2 points to his name at the moment, is on 14 points. Those are the regular season drivers, of course, and we're getting ready for qualifying. Just realized I've accidentally joined the lobby, which I absolutely should not do. I hit the wrong button. But then, yes, we have in the team standings for the divisional, 46 points for Team Mega, just 4 ahead of Jamplacht Interior, with Burkestein Transport Service on 39 points in 3rd. In 4th is Delesi on 35. Kim is in 5th with 32. We have Brokaga on 21, and Coach Dave at the back at the moment on 16 points. However, if you spin that round and look at our combined divisional rankings, actually it looks quite similar. Team Mega are on top with 199 points. Go Team Mega. 20 ahead of Delesi, who have 179. Then we have Kimiz on 176. Next up, Jamplacht on 150. Buckstein on 147. And Coach Dave on 128. This is the penultimate race in Suzuka. The drivers for the open wheeler and high downforce single seaters have already got on the plane and are headed over to South America for the next rounds of the championship. But the team personnel stay in place for the entire week. And they're ready to engineer then for the GT races. Today, we've got simultaneous races for Division 1 and Division 2, so-called S3 and S4. S4 will be recorded replay later in the week, live as live, I should say, here on the channel. Hi to Aussie as well, who joins in. Great to have you as we get ready for qualifying race to begin momentarily. And we will get ourselves trackside for you very soon. Any questions, any favourite drivers, do cheer them on. Do let me know if you find a new favourite. It's your first time with us here today. But overall, I just hope that we can give you a fabulous race to enjoy. We will certainly do our level best. Remember to do all the good things on the channel today. Remember to like and subscribe here, but also make sure that you and a friend or family member are subscribing to @SVR-Racing. That is very, very important to build our league as much as possible. If every member of the Discord server and one friend managed to subscribe, we would get ourselves monetized very quickly. So please help the league move forward as much as you possibly can. We're getting ready for qualifying. I won't bore you with a lobby screen at this stage. I think we've got everybody ready. We've got some special takes on liveries, and I think some new stickers as well, ready for everybody. And we will have as close a look at those as humanly possible. Just to remind you, this first session is officially qualifying, but it will appear to be a race. The drivers will start on a rolling start with the instruction to try and make sure that they leave a gap to the car in front. Your race order, as presented by Hector, in the official screen, will look. Let's have a look, shall we? Will look a little bit something like this. So the official qualifying session will rank our drivers in speed order, as you would expect. If I end up hitting the replay button for any reason on Gran Turismo, particularly during the race, we will end up with all the race information over the top. But try to ignore that. In qualifying, everything should be ranked. So it is just a few seconds left to go. I'm just checking to see if we've got any notable substitutions today. Solshock is running the race. Thump is here. I'm going to go with Thump as his name. I've not seen him before, but subbing in for Jan Placht as we get ready then for the start of proceedings today. I'm hoping that our drivers will be able to connect to Twitch. Just going to restart, refresh Hector, and then hopefully, yeah, we've got some Twitch streams running. So I tell you what, the first thing you can do is tell me which driver you would most like to see on your picture-in-picture. I will do my best then to watch with Comacopa on his view, because he's got the front. But give me a quick vote as to who you want to see picture-in-picture first of all. Hi to Twinkle and to Stormborn as well. Great to have you with us here to enjoy the race today. And Kaisha is cheering on Bro Kaga, as you would expect. We're sitting inside the Supra with the Alcantara flocked dashboard of Comacopa. We're going to get the best view of the racetrack. I tell you what, why don't we sit maybe on the bonnet here for the race, for the first flying lap here. As we look back, we've got the SVR banner across the rear wing, and like I say, trying to leave those gaps are the drivers as we get ready for the race. We're going into the Degner corners at the moment, Degner 1 and Degner 2, which we tried to nickname Degner Wood after one of our drivers' favourite positions. Vicinity is here, team captain of Team Mega, so good to have you. So I've got no votes yet. You're going to have to get in there nice and quick for me. Comacopa pretty slow through the hairpin at the moment, as we look to see how this one is going to go. Vicinity wishing good luck to everybody. Aussie cheering on Tequila, so a friend of Tequila. I can count at least 2 people here that are specifically here for Tequila, so we might watch him. Oh no, we can't watch Tequila. Tequila hasn't connected his Twitch stream, which is very, very inconsiderate of him, and we'll have to have words. I'm going to leave that particularly to Twinkle to have words about getting his point of view across for us. But I'll tell you what, let's find a driver who's perhaps stuck at the back of the grid at the moment in the order to show you on stream. That will be, this is Niki Lauda, Too Funny, as he's also known, and his picture-in-picture stream then. Let's get underway. Let's see if he's chatting with Hector at all. No chat messages to Hector just yet, as we get going out of the last curve down the start-finish straight on board with Comacopa. Got a big crowd here today for GT racing around Suzuka. Lots of the crowd have arrived, and Kim is asking for tequila. I can't give you tequila because he hasn't chosen his hasn't selected his stream just yet. Some drivers do it just for the race, so through turns 1 and 2, and then it's all about rhythm on these GT races, going on that dark patch of tarmac wherever possible. Try and keep your rhythm running, using the inside curbs a small amount in this qualifying session. Remember, these tyres only really last for 2 laps maximum, and Suzuka being a long circuit is a difficult one to keep those tyres alive for. Through Dunlop we go at the end of the S's, and then it's about judging that input and turning point for Degner 1. Degner 2 you could abuse quite heavily before running out. But if it does happen to rain, looks like it's dry today, certainly in qualifying, but if it does happen to rain, the outside of that corner is treacherous. This is down in the Kobayashi hairpin as we drop all the way down through the gears then with Komakopa on board the Supra. Then it's the 200R, which is a nothing corner really in the dry, but if you are alongside each other in low grip conditions, you do have to just be a little bit careful. Braking heavily then for Spoon 1, drop a gear or two. Little short squirt then before getting hooked right up into Spoon 2. You'll be hoping for a little bit more apex and a slightly earlier throttle application than Komakopa managed on this particular run. But things are progressing relatively smoothly at the moment for Komakopa. It looks like Dummy is running fastest right now on his run. So we will keep an eye on him. It looks like it's Dummy ahead of Dirtbag Larry. Excuse me, I was trying to put that together. I always associate him with Larry instead of Dirtbag. Crossing the line then will go Komakopa. He goes, of course, into second place early on, but quickly beaten by both Dummy, Dirtbag Larry and Bijan, as we have a look then for, let's find another driver. Perhaps we'll ride with Dummy, who goes faster, 2-minute .544. Let's select him in picture-in-picture. I'll tell you what, we'll select second place driver in picture-in-picture, and we will go across to, we will try and go across to have a look at our next driver. I can't actually navigate this. Oh, I see why. Okay, let's find you another driver to watch their following lap. We've got Bijan in, this is Dummy then, in the mostly black Mega livery today. Got a little bit of special livery application for the race today. I'll try and show that later on, but Dummy leads us by less than a tenth of a second at this point, and Ashley is cheering on Larry as well, so that's great to see. Lots of us supporting Larry right now as well, and we're all behind Larry as well, usual for those of us who have raced with him. It's Twinkle is also cheering on Dirtbag. Split allegiance, I think, slightly for Twinkle there. And behind Dummy, a nice open track. It's the faintest disappearing dot of a car in front of Dummy, but things are progressing quite nicely. In fact, I'll just try and find you some session time once these first two laps are done. These first two flying laps, we've of course had our warm-up lap as well. So this is lap 3 for the drivers. Could do with a countdown, I think, on our qualifying Hector timing screen, perhaps. But I'll let our fantastic engineer who is designing Hector work out whether that's something that he wishes to add. Into the Casio Triangle we go. Some good apex through the second part of the Casio Triangle. Not going into the pits this time. Dummy comes through. He's got a purple mini sector, the most recent, but that is not any quicker this time. Bijan, though, goes fastest by 23 thousandths of a second. Bijan on a 2-minute 521 so far. Red jumps up the order into 4th position already. This is on board with Red. This is Red's fantastic alternate livery here. You can see some messages in antagonism of cancer, particularly to say Simracing allied to the fight against cancer and the fight for a cure, and we're all right there for us. Message from QT. The last 3 are not setting. Thank you, Stig. I will do my level best. Let's refresh that and see if we can't get ourselves some times. I think perhaps they are disconnected. They are reading as disconnected for me as well, unfortunately. So Red on board. Let's just try and find you some session info as well. Let's get you everything, and then we can see what's happening. I've got 7 minutes 40 on the clock. I think the drivers will be lucky to get a third lap in at this stage. Bijan leads Dummy by 23 thousandths of a second only. Senor Fak is in 3rd place with Mappy in 4th. We've got Red racing and qualifying so far in 5th place with Dirtbag Larry in 6th place, which is fantastic to see as well. Let's join Dirtbag Larry picture in picture, shall we? Komakopa in 7th, Sock in 8th, with Thump in P9 right now. Then we have Dino in P10 with Phil in 11th. However, Funny, Tequila and Uncle Pants are not showing on screen at this point. So who knows where they're going to get in. So it's good to see. Let's have a look and see if we can see any particular special additions to any liveries on this point. I don't think anyone is going to go faster on these tyres right now. I know Komakopa previously tried to go and set new times. Here is the Jan plaqued car. There's an interesting one, like a worm in a scarf and hat on the back corner there. I've not seen that detail before. Then we've just seen the Kimi's livery with the fight against cancer on there. This is Delesi, just coasting his way through. And there is also FU to cancer on the car of Phil Reeve as well. This then is the special dinosaur livery for Team Mega. I absolutely adore this. You've got some cherry blossom on there. We've also got Godzilla, and Takata are a temporary sponsor as well. Brilliant to see. I'd love to see some more special additions to livery. Not wholesale changes, but some special additions would be absolutely wonderful. This one, I believe, designed by Dummy. So that's fantastic to see. Drivers are in. As Ozzy says, where are the last 3 times? I don't have them at the moment. Let me try and find them for you on my display at least. Uncle Pants has got a 202.268. You'll have to remember all of these for me. Then we've got Tequila we're looking for, and for Funny. So let's have a look. Tequila has set a 201.438, and we are looking for Dummy. No, not Dummy. Too Funny. Nicky Lauda, as he is, in fact. Nicky Lauda has set a 201.576. Those are my times that I'm reading, and I will do my best to get you fresh times as well as soon as I can from the race director mode. Let me see how things are looking on my side. What can I do? What can I find from him? I've got endurance race. Does that help me? No. Cancel. Don't want to do that. Yeah, so my list here doesn't give me their times at the moment, or a link to them. So if Beragos is watching, I could do with some information on how do I recover that detail, as Destiny is cheering on Larry as well. So that's great to see. All the laps coming in now and finishing without change. It is Bijan who has managed to get the fastest time on our screen right now. Here he is, Bijan, in the Bergstein Transport Service car. I think we will start to see more and more messages in support of those people connected to us who are struggling with ill health at the moment. And as I say, all of our support goes to them. So please, if you've got any spare, do give generously to cancer charities as much as you possibly can. Bijan is the pole position man at the moment anyway. I'm waiting to get confirmation on that, and I'm hoping that Soulshock is listening in as well and can send me the times. We've got lobby change issue. So yeah, we will get hopefully those times coming in as soon as possible. Let me just message Soulshock and try and get myself some quality time links. So Komakopa managing to get himself into, let me see, 7th position so far in the Brokaga car. So far for Brokaga, it's not been an easy start to the season for the majority of the leagues that we run, but I'm sure that things were going to come good any moment soon for them. As we get ready, then I will turn off Larry's POV at this stage, because we don't necessarily need to see him. And that is then, well, it's showing Comacopa. It's incorrect because, of course, he was the first on track for the session. So getting ready for the race then as soon as possible. Lobby will be updated, and we will see what we can see as soon as possible. What are the last 3 times? Yeah, I will get those to you as soon as I possibly can. So just bear with me. There's a small delay getting the times across to me. It may be that I get a direct message with them automatically, but okay, I won't get one from Soulshock, he says. Okay, so I'm in Hector's hands to see, unless if QT is watching, he can point me to the correct place, or Stig, if you know a way for me to access that list. Normally QT sends it to me for S1, the actual performance list. It will be roughly what we're looking at on screen, with the exception of the bottom 3, who will slot in at different points overall. So that's as close as I can get for you right now. Have faith in Soulshock to get everything on board. We were thinking that we were going to have some threat of rain, but at this stage, there is no rain in Suzuka in the air. You never know. There is some randomness to everything, but hopefully the drivers will be prepared for all eventualities. That will certainly be the best the best situation to be in. I'm just going to check in, see if I've got any news on our sessions at all. Any new information that I need to be aware of. Okay, so I wonder if do I need to type race director into Discord to get what I'm looking for? Race director link. No, it's not something I'm aware of being able to do. So if Stig, if QT, and you're watching and you can let me know, then please do, as a matter of urgency. That would be fantastic, and I'll do my best. Otherwise, we will see the race be resorted. Let's remind ourselves for a moment how the standings look after the first 2 rounds of the championship. Dummy having won both of the races, ahead of Flash having come second in both of the races. Flash is not someone who's going to be able to race with us every single week, and I think this week is one of those weeks he is not going to be with us, sadly. So Flash, having got 2 second places, will have to sit out a week, or possibly even 2, in the coming weeks. Then we've got Bijan or Zoomroom in P3, with Senor Fak in P4. Too funny, Nicky Lauda is in 5th place, Comacopa in 6th, Sock in 7th, followed by Tequila, who had a week off for a holiday, I believe. Mappy in 9th, Dinosaur in 10th, Red in 11th place, Larry in 12th, Uncle Pants in 13th, and Phil in 14th place. Mega leading the championship by 4 points in S3 here, ahead of Jan Placht, Bergstein, Delesi, Kimmy's Brokaga, and Coach Dave Academy. All of those teams are our title sponsors. If you are connected to a company name who get sim racing, who understand the importance of sim racing, and a captive audience here that enjoy the streams and come back week after week, then get in touch with us, and we can add their name into the sponsors. We can have their name permanently on the screen, or as part of the sponsor scroll, as you see, or they can sponsor things like the qualifying session, things like replays, shorts, anything really. We are certainly open to it, and we thank everybody for their continued support from within the league. And there are now new regular ways of giving, and you can find that if you're already a member of our league in the Discord under Donate to League. So that's all the kind of business stuff out of the way. If you've got any questions while we wait for the race to get underway, do let me know. Any observations, any hopes and dreams connected to today's race, or of course predictions, do fire them my way as quickly as possible in the live chat. Once we get underway, it might be a little bit tricky for me to follow everything. If it gets a little bit quick and frantic, but I'll do my best. Of course, the main onus is on, of course, having the best race possible. Just waiting to see if I'm going to get any further messages or any information from our Discord channel. Drivers just getting themselves a little bit impatient now. Dummy saying how long to go. There is a voice channel for everybody, and Hector is communicating directly with the drivers. Most drivers are involved in team calls right now and are following along. I can see, particularly, for example, in Mega Racing, Captain Vicinity is listening in. He's also watching the stream on one side, and he's watching his drivers' POVs as well on another. And just making sure that he gives the most accurate information that he can, and that is echoed across the teams in our race. Fantastic sense of community here, never more so I think than this week. The sense of community has been very, very encouraging and a wonderful thing to see. I'm really proud that this community is so supportive of one another right now. Okay, so I haven't got a time countdown just yet. I often get a quick notification from someone just to say how long, and I'll keep an eye on the relevant position in the Discord chat room. But yeah, nothing coming through for me just yet. We've got a 3.5 meters per second kind of south-southeast wind, which is going to be. Let me see, that's going to be something of a crosswind heading through the Degners. That's going to be difficult. It's going to be tailwind into turn 1. The drivers are going to have to take it easy through there. Let's click back to the lobby then, because obviously we'll get our sponsor names running and scrolling through as they ought to be. Top left of your screen. Stig saying Brokaga sponsor is also watching. Greetings to you. Very grateful to you for both being a title sponsor for us, but also, of course, being a viewer today as well. Let's honour you and your attendance by trying to find you a car. Well, unfortunately, your 2 cars are in the pits at the moment, so I can't. But if your cars were being in the pits, then I would be able to do that for you. Just waiting for the race to begin. So we'll just watch this practice warm-up session. This is Senor Fak here in the Porsche. The drivers were able to, the teams I should say, were able to choose from our selection of GT cars this season. And they had a kind of a lottery to decide who chose what first. So obviously the Lessie team chose the Porsche, a rear engine rear wheel drive car, quite unusual in the big scheme of things across our league. Most of our cars are running either mid or front engine rear wheel drive cars. 10 seconds to go apparently, says Soul Shop. So let's have a quick look at the other cars. Here is what used to be the overpowered car. This is the Lamborghini Huracan for Jamplacht interiors with Sock at the wheel at the moment. Then we've got the Ferrari. Watch those Ferraris at the start of the race. They are absolutely lightning fast, jumping off the line. They may not be the best race car over the course of a race distance, but they certainly are off the grid. So as I say, keep your eyes peeled for those. Mappy's in the pits in the Audi. We've got the Lexus of Team Mega. We've got the Supra of let me just get some options here, because our screen is not the best here, unfortunately. I'm going to turn off the driver names and get ready for the race then. We have got front row, we have got Bijan ready to go, and it is 5 red lights on, and it's dropped the clutch, and go immediately. Bijan away nicely with Dummy got the inside line. Then you can see the chasing Ferrari. I think that might be Tequila chasing down the outside then and launching across ahead of teammate Red, and teammate Red makes contact, slightly spinning Tequila off to the outside, but at the moment at least it looks like the Tequila Monkey's slightly colour faded Kimi's racing car is wrestling to try and find enough room on the racetrack to keep running. The Delesi car fully alongside, then trying his best to close in. But at the moment, it is Bijan, I should say, well ahead of Dummy, who has finished both races on the top step of the podium. Waiting to see those tyre choices as well soon. They will scroll through our run, but Bijan at the head of the field. Unfortunately, Hector is getting confused because Tequila Monkey and Uncle Pants are reading as faster than anybody else at the moment because they do not have a connection to our server. So I may have to sort this out. If Hector can't catch up, we may have to unfortunately turn him off. Bijan leads ahead of Dummy in the Lexus. Then coming up behind it is Red, who with his elbows out, especially with his teammate, has managed to get that Ferrari into P3. Then let's have another look, shall we, at the start, as it looks like the drivers have got themselves away neat and tidy to start with. At least Dummy was heavily defensive into the first turn, but it was an issue then, I think, with between the two Ferraris. That was the Azul Racing Team sticker rear window of Tequila Monkey just getting out of position slightly, but nobody suffering a huge amount at the start of our race. Everybody staying with us. We've got Team Mega at the back with Dinosaur, who lost a few positions early on, but thankfully, at least, it looks like things have gone through relatively smoothly. Let me refresh one more time. But if we continue to show Tequila and Uncle Pants at the head of the field, I'm going to have to switch back to Gran Turismo's regular view, I'm afraid, and that does appear to be the case. So unfortunately, it looks like with those disconnections to Hector, we're going to have to focus on the action as things stand. I'm going to just run this screen right across here for you so that we can try and at very least get you some onboards later on. But for now, at least, it is Bijan leading Dummy, leading Red, and this is Mappy for Coach Dave Academy. The drivers on medium tyres at the moment. This is a hard tyre run for Senor Fac on the hard tyres. As I said, then we've got Tequila also on the hards. So is Nicky Lauda, Comma Copa, and a gaggle of hard tyre starters with Thump in ninth, Dirtbag Larry on the mediums, Thump and Dirtbag on the mediums. So is Sock and Dinosaur, who's moved up 2 positions just as we've been watching. So let's just try and watch with Dinosaur as he comes through. This was him in 12th position. And does he find a driver going a little bit wide going through the next few corners? No, everything seemed to be quite steady there for him. As this is Dinosaur in 12th, P-Reeve is in 13th, Uncle Pants at the back in 14th place. Bijan leads though for Bergstein Transport Service ahead of Dummy. Those 2 drivers on the medium tyres, as is Red and Mappy. But then Senor Fac is perhaps the driver in the pound seats at the moment as they head in towards the famous 130R. We will have roughly 1 hour of racing here today, and the drivers will be balancing between the available pit stop options for them, but without a great deal of peril as they run through the order, through the Casio triangle here, without one driver going significantly far back in the order. It looks like all their strategies will be working out fairly steadily. This is the special Japan livery option of our Team Mega car with the Cherry Blossom and Godzilla, as well as a message against cancer on the rear wing, I think I just saw as well, with Red in 3rd place. Very muscular start for Red, but at the moment living up with the pace of the front 2 and not being caught too fast from Mappy behind. But Senor Fac is starting to build the speed now and find his rhythm on the hard tyres as he runs through Dunlop Corner at the end of the S's. Over the crest we go in the shadows and the shadows, I should say, of the Ferris wheel down towards the very difficult Degner corners as we wait to see if we are about to get some activity from a driver. I'm going to find you someone to watch picture in picture for a moment. Let's ride with Larry, who has got plenty of support with him at the moment. I'm going to have to put that up at the top of the screen while we figure out how to organise our action as best as possible here. I wonder where the best place for that actually is, but this will be perhaps where I will leave it for now. But if you've got better suggestions, it's difficult for me to find some clear space on the some real estate on the screen to give you that picture. But that's Dirtbag Larry, currently in 11th place. The drivers being very, very calm at this stage. We've got a gaggle of 3 drivers here. Comacopa in 8th, Thump in 9th, and there is Dirtbag Larry in P10 at the moment. That's the red Coach Dave Audi as they head in towards that 130R corner. Larry hassling and harrying the back of the Lamborghini, the Jamplacht interior Lamborghini, who feels the need to go slightly defensive to the middle of the track, doesn't compromise his line overly. And Thump, guest appearance here today as a reserve driver for the Jamplacht team, in place of Flash, I believe, and that's a personal best time from him as we run through the order. Looks like Red might be just swapping places with Mappy. As things stand. Let's go back then and have a look. That is Mappy running around the outside of Red. This is the run down towards turn 1. Red defending to the inside, and then they'll go side by side, will they? Red, though, having to take a much slower line into the corner. It looks like Mappy's got the car sufficiently alongside as we ran out of replay buffer, but Mappy did get the nose ahead, and this is the battle then for 3rd position. Watching this very closely is Senor Fac. Let's ride just chase cam from Senor Fac as we have a look at when these drivers decide to break into the next few corners. As Senor Fac then looking for his opportunity. I think Mappy might need to go slightly defensive. He doesn't fully commit. And then Senor Fac almost running into Red here as the medium tyre runners can't surely be having difficulty with their tyres at this stage. But certainly Senor Fac, with his underlying pace, seems to be finding a really good run at the moment. So as we head down into towards Spoon 1, things are looking pretty neat and tidy at the moment. Red getting a good apex, Mappy getting the exit that he needed, the throttle down, despite not quite getting the apex there. I think possibly Red just suffering off the curb slightly. This is Senor Fac with a good run, but it's not enough to have a go. A definite lift into 130R. Not quite sure at this stage what Red is going to do. And then early braking, gentle braking as well, protecting those tyres, protecting the fuel at this stage of the race, as it looks like possibly Dinosaur is moving up the order as well. I will have to just have a quick check on Dinosaur. Where is he? There he is. So is this an incident that happened further back as the drivers go out wide? That was the Jamplacht car. It's full 360 spinning as well. Here he is. This is Thump, unfortunately, like I say, making his debut with us, but sadly spinning off, unfortunately, and down to the back of the grid at this stage. So that is Thump. Excuse me, not quite at the back. Sock is right there with him. Look. So it's the Jamplacht cars running 13th and 14th place right now. Bijan is the leader. That looks like Thump just with some damage, letting his teammate by. Doesn't want to hamper his teammate, but it's too early on the medium tyres to go into the pits. Sock is also on the mediums and has front damage as well. So these two Jamplacht cars, unfortunately, suffering significant damage at the start of this race. Bijan's lead currently 3.5 seconds after 5 laps ahead of Dummy as they go through the hairpin. Mappy still ahead of Red, still ahead just about of Senor Fac in the Porsche. Senor Fac just on the ill-favoured inside line on the exit of the hairpin. Red just doing enough to stay ahead here through 200R, the 200 radius corner, and then Senor Fac going for it down the inside into Spoon 1. It's not quite fully committed into a move, just trying to put Red off his ideal racing line. Red's, oh, and there we go, a big snap from the rear of Red as Senor Fac chases him down. That will help Senor Fac. He's stuck his hazards on for some reason. Red, I wonder if that was just panic stations on the wheel and he's accidentally clicked his hazard lights as they run through. Red trying to get a good wide line into the next corner. No damage on Red's car. Senor Fac is going to have to dive bomb from this distance back, but he doesn't do so, going for a wide line. But meanwhile, what's happening at the moment is Red's teammate Tequila Monkey, who is also on the hard tyres, is catching Senor Fac. and that is going to be a double trouble situation for Senyor. He's going to have to make the move quickly, and he's got the slipstream on car 47 ahead. He's going to go for it surely before the S's. He dives down the inside, and he's just compromises his line significantly. Red, though, running out of grip to the apex of turn 2, but I think he's going to be sufficiently far ahead. And looming from behind comes the new alternate livery Tequila Monkey, who is getting into his rhythm and trying to move himself up the order. Bijan leads Dummy, leads Mappy for 1, 2, 3. Mappy just ahead here on screen. Then we've got Red and Senyor behind us as we ride with this battle. Comes Tequila Monkey, Niki Lauda and Komakopa, your top 8. Here we go then, as Senyor has a look, gets a fantastic drive off Dunlop thanks to the better grip of the Porsche at this stage, but a big snap through Degner 2, echoing almost exactly what happened to Red. I'm concerned for Senyor with the wear rate on these hard tyres. They're almost the same wear, about 50% worn, well, I would say 45% worn at this stage of the race, and Red is only about 50%, so Senyor is using those tyres, running in the dirty air quite significantly, just behind the Ferrari. I'm waiting for something to go off and go wrong with this group, as then we've got Senyor taking that wider line into Spoon, and then him getting those rears lit up again, and that will be undoing of the situation. Red is not losing a huge amount of time. He's staying with Mappy at this stage. I'll tell you who is losing time now. This entire group to both Bijan and Dummy. Bijan with prodigious speed, but Dummy with the 2-race winning streak at this stage for Team Mega. That's Red on the grass. Oh no, it's not. It looked to be lag on the grass there for a moment, but thankfully it was just a positioning issue for the race control. This is Tequila Monkey as he is closing in 1.9 seconds now, separating the drivers in front of him, the group in front of him, who all go against the pit wall then to try and close off the slipstream. Of course, that means that they all just follow, but Mappy in P3, Red getting slightly too close going into turn 1 and 2. Had to wait to apply the throttle. These GT cars are quite large in comparison to the single-seaters, or at least they feel that way, and you don't have quite as good visibility through the corners, so you've kind of got to leave a small margin, and this is not the widest track in the world, certainly through the S's, as they about to finish those S's, coming through Dunlop. This is lap 7. This is minute 13 of the 1 hour that we will be running this race for. And we have Bijan, Dummy, Mappy and Red ahead of Senyor Tequila. Oh, surely that is, yeah. That is some lag on the case of Red, possibly. We will ignore that just happened. I thought we just had the most catastrophic issue. Never mind. Ignore what just went on. That was the most strange thing going on. Ariano is cheering on Tequila and Red. Aria, I believe that is, watching, as also so is Stormborn right now. Do get your cheering in as well if you haven't already cheered on your driver. Those three seem to be staying pretty stable at this point. Niki Lauda's in the Buxton Transport Service, a little bit a bit of a gap in front, 4.3 seconds, 1.6 seconds behind him. Then Komakopa is in 8th with Dirtbag Larry in 9th. Dinosaur in special livery, I want to say, or maybe he's not. I think he is. Yes, he is. With P. Reeve in 11th. Should we say Preve for that one? Heart attack alarm, said friends. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Uncle Pants in 12th. Bijan and Dummy both pit on the same lap. Now that is interesting, because that kind of guarantees that you will come out of the pits in the same position. Mappy also pits. So Senyor and Red will go side by side down the start-finish straight. Let's just check that out, because that might have been the pitting action of... that might be the pitting action of the Mappy car in front. No, it was Red just getting out on the curb initially, and thankfully for Senyor he didn't end up running into Red on the way through the next few corners. But that promotes Senyor the first driver who started on the hard tyres, ahead of Red, and now Senyor has managed to ease that tyre wear situation down a little bit, and things are looking a little bit better for him. So running through then goes Senyor. Of course, the drivers all starting on equal fuel, but some drivers managing to run the hard tyre at the start of this race and will be able to run the car emptier for longer. This is Tequila Monkey on the hard tyres, so with the exception of Red, we've got Senor and Tequila Monkey both on the hard tyres. Tequila has been very, very gentle on those hards. I wonder if he's trying to do fewer pit stops here. He's got his teammate in front of him. He won't want his teammate to hold him up. I'm sure that he won't know. As Kaisha says, it's wild. And certainly that moment definitely was. Niki Lauda in 4th place. But those hard tyres don't look so good for Niki Lauda at this stage. Komakopa being fairly chill at the moment in 5th place. And Larry doing a great job as well, who has not been able to pick up a lot of points so far. But Suzuka seems to be a happier hunting ground at the moment for Dirtbag Larry, who runs through. He's got some hearts on the back of the car as well. I'm not sure that's always been there, so I think they might have been a recent addition for Dirtbag Larry as he runs through in P6. Dinosaur is in 7th, and behind him P-Reeve, Uncle Pants, and then Bijan and Mappy, who have pitted already. Let's have a look, see if Red is about to go into the pits. He is indeed. So Red off the medium tyres. That means Tequila Monkey doesn't have an awkward situation with his teammate. 43 minutes to go in our race, and let's give you a new driver to watch, shall we? Let's see about Niki Lauda in the Buckstein Transport Service car, as we will go picture in picture with him, and you can follow him and his progress at the moment. But right now, Senior Fact leads Tequila Monkey ahead of Niki Lauda, Komakopa, and Dirtbag Larry, the top 5. Larry, though, he's starting on the medium tyres, so staying with the hard runners at this stage. He is only 9.5 seconds away from the lead of the race right now, and also treating those medium tyres very, very gently and kindly, so doing a good job. Dinosaur's on the mediums, but his front right is looking very much worse for wear. And then we've got a little battle going on. This is Uncle Pants, and let's see if he is he broadcasting for us. It's really difficult because our drivers don't always change their name correctly. But Uncle Pants, no, unfortunately he's not broadcasting to Twitch for us. And they run through the next few corners. But we are riding on board with Niki Lauda, picture in picture at the moment. I'm not sure it's the best position on screen for you. I can maybe try and reposition that slightly. Let's see. The problem is the track map kind of comes in the way of the sponsors momentarily there. So yeah, I'll put that about here maybe. Let's see if that works any better for us. No, it's right over our very important sponsors information, so I'm going to put it back. I do apologise. I should turn it off when I'm doing that. Tequila Monkey running in 2nd place and 2.3 seconds away from Senor Fac. It is lap 9 at the moment on those hard tyres. Senor Fac, though, who has been using those hards a little bit more. He's been stuck behind other drivers at this stage, at the early stage of the race, on the medium tyres. And then we've got Niki here in the Buckstein Transport Service car. He is done with the hards. We are still waiting for some drivers who started on the mediums to pit. Dirtbag Larry comes in now in the Audi. Let's see him. I'll tell you what. Shall we move to him on picture in picture again, perhaps? And then we'll be able to see him and what's going on as they all come into pit. Mappy and Red, who have pitted. Red has managed to overcut Mappy there. So remember, Mappy was in front of Red. Red has managed to action the overcut. Uncle Pants out on the grass momentarily. Just then, as looks like Bijan is struggling with P-Reeve. P-Reeve just in front of him. I think that's Phil, but I'll just read the names as you see them on screen. As this is Bijan then getting the inside line as they head into Dunlop. He'll hope that P-Reeve gets out of the way on the approach into Degner 1, and he does, but it could have been a little bit easier. But P-Reeve fighting for position here. It's not a blue flag situation. Yes, he's a bit slower because Bijan is on new hard tyres, but he had every right to fight for a hold of his place, particularly, I guess you could say, because his teammate is in the hunt for the win, and that is Uncle Pants. A huge snap from Uncle Pants, but he just rescued it on the way out of the hairpin. You see that so often with our drivers as the as the tyres start to let go. He's protected the rears pretty well, but they let him down there on the way out of the hairpin, and then Red is closing in. As I say, I think it's Red that might have the lag issue today. He certainly has difficulty getting in and out of lobbies from time to time, and he almost catches and hits Uncle Pants. I think we might need to see that again. Let's see if he actually made contact with the Bro Cargo car as they went through our spoon corner coming up. Well, it's hard to say. The car seeming to launch forward momentarily, but at this stage things are looking okay as they close in on P-Reeve as well. They've both got to the opportunity to make the overtake. P-Reeve pits now, and Mappy, it looks like, has left the room. I think we've just lost Mappy from our race. Sadly, yeah, Mappy was just behind this group and he has disconnected, so unfortunately a mechanical failure for Mappy. I like the fact that Red has also put on a cancer ribbon on his helmet as well. That's a great touch from Red. Love to see that with his bright red wheels as well, which don't go with his livery at all, but we get exactly what he's doing. As Dummy's in 7th, remember his fight at the moment against Senor Fak, 25 seconds away from the lead of the race is Dummy. Senor Fak, pit stop allocation is roughly, very roughly, 20 seconds. Looks also like the sky is darkening a little bit for the drivers, but you've got to add fuel through the course of the race, so it could be that Dummy is knocking on the door here of a possible challenge for the run. Give us the remaining time from time to time. I will do, Renz. Okay, so 37 minutes 50. Thank you for that. 37 minutes 50. But what you can do is subtract the 22 minutes from the bottom left of your screen from 60, if you like as well, or just count up to that. Sparky, I wonder if you got a little bit lively in the chat there for a moment. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but that's the situation. It looks like your comment got blocked for a moment, but I think yeah, upset about that situation, as I'm sure is absolutely understandable. This then is what appears to be a current battle. Larry ahead of Dinosaur, ahead of P-Reeve, who have all just pitted. That's Larry off the circuit, picture in picture. You'll see him momentarily. Will you? Again, I think it's a lag situation as he runs right off. Yeah, as far as his position was concerned, it didn't change anything for him. Senor Fak and Komakopa pit now. That leaves Tequila Monkey out in the lead of our race. This is the battle at the moment over 9th place. Larry in that 9th place ahead of Dinosaur, ahead of P-Reeve. These drivers have all now pitted, I believe. Yep. So that's where they stand at the moment. Sock is going quicker than he has gone before on this lap. 11 on newish hard tyres, and he's worn some of the fuel away. And Thump has got himself onto hard tyres as well. P13 for Thump at the moment, but this is his debut. So he was certainly mixing it in qualifying and at the start of the race, but a slight mistake has put him right to the back. His damage has been repaired though now, and should be able to pick things back up again. This is your leader. Your race leader is Tequila Monkey. 11.1 seconds. Tequila, our reigning S1 champion, who has switched codes for the 2025 VR Simracing World Championship. He has decided to go into the top tier of GT racing. Kind of one of those situations. He's completed S1, he feels, and it's time to go for a new challenge. So Tequila rocking the Kimmy's Racing Team livery with Arya, who was his previous teammate in the Azul Racing Team. A little nod to Azul Racing there on the back window, the former team of last year, as Tequila is now fully branded up almost as a Kimmy's Racing Team driver. Bijan is in 2nd place. So that gap is now 11.8 seconds, but Tequila yet to pit. It's really the gap we want to be looking at between Bijan and Dummy, as Red has made his pit stop, but he's gone on to a 2nd set of medium tyres, has Red. So that's an interesting choice for him, as now Tequila Monkey does pit, and that should put him back out of the pits behind Dummy. Senor Fak has exited the pits well behind Dummy, some 6.6 seconds, adding the fuel to the pit stop time. Senor Fak has lost out to Dummy then. So that is the main battle we have for the net lead of the race. Dummy versus Senyorfac. Remember, Dummy on a 2-race winning streak. This is Tequila Monkey in the pits, as Senyorfac can just see Dummy as his target at the end of the start-finish straight as he starts the start-finish straight out of the last curve. That's Tequila Monkey exiting the pits just behind him. Will he get mixed up with perhaps Nicky Lauda, who is closing in? Not quite, but this lap is young and those tyres are cold. So we will see if Nicky Lauda does catch up. I'm impressed with Red though. Through that pit stop sequence, he's committed to a 2-stop situation, I believe. Red has gone on to a second set of medium tyres, so minimising, I think, his time on the hard tyres as we run through. It is Bijan ahead of Red. Bijan still on his hard tyres, but he's unlocking some amazing pace at this point. But Dummy is your fastest driver so far, a 2:02.723, and that, I think, was done on the medium tyres at the start of the race on relatively high fuel, so we will get faster times throughout the course of our race. We're still watching Dirtbag Larry with the picture-in-picture at the moment as he continues to chase the next group. Respectable gap between Red and Bijan. Oh, Red is just widening that gap, I think. Let's see if he suddenly lurches forward, but I think for Red that was a genuine off-track moment there. And losing out then to the tune of 4.2 seconds from Bijan. Dummy in third, then Senyorfac 6.9 seconds behind now as Tequila Monkey's exited the pits out in 5th place. He's gone onto the mediums. Senyorfac has switched onto the hards. Tequila Monkey though running the medium tyres now with Nicky Lauda in 6th. We've got Copa in 7th place, just behind the front group, well ahead of the second group then as Dirtbag Larry runs in 9th place in the Audi, just behind Dinosaur and just ahead of P. Reeve, with the 2 Yamplacked interior cars running at the back of the grid at this stage. Some close racing going on here at the moment. This is Tequila Monkey catching Senyorfac. A difference in tyre between the 2 drivers. Some sparks flying from the back, I think that was of Copa's car behind. But this is now Tequila Monkey closing in, I think, as it looks like we are heading in towards the evening point. I was worried it was cloud cover, and we have got some cloud cover for sure. Let's just join on board then, as there are the odd glint of sun coming from the sky, but it is definitely setting. Hands up, which person in charge of the race broadcast today forgot to set the temporary exposure a bit higher. I think I'm going to finish in the night time with half an hour to go. I think we will finish in the almost dark of, well, fully dark, I think, of Suzuka. As this time of year the sun does set rather quickly, as you can imagine. And then at the back, behind Tequila Monkey, just about make out there, we've got Nicky Lauda, but now things are getting close here between Tequila Monkey and Senyorfac in the Delesi Porsche. This then is the medium tyres for Tequila, as we focus picture-in-picture on Dirtbag Larry, and he's checking his mirrors at this stage. Let me give you the view from behind Dirtbag, because I think that is relatively close. You can see I was going to give you P. Reeve, but I can't, unfortunately. I can only give you Dino and Dirtbag, so I'll switch back to Dirtbag as he's chasing Dino at the moment. Here is Tequila Monkey though, looking for that outside line. This is optimistic. Oh, I think Senyorfac ducking out of it was the 5Ds of dodgeball about to come out there, yeah, ducking out of the throttle in order to not run side by side. Senyorfac just taking it fairly steadily here on this stage on the hard tyres. Not going to put up a lot of fight, not going to lose time. Look at the crumpled front left bumper fender of the Porsche there. As we get nice and close, you can see it says Bosch, and he has definitely been Bosched on that front wing. Crumpled it against the back of other cars at this stage. I didn't actually see significant performance affecting damage on the Porsche, but for now at least cosmetic damage, and that's Senyorfac getting sideways. Let's maybe get a quick replay of that moment. It may have looked more impressive from trackside than from the onboard. Let's follow him. Pretty sure we just went sideways. Was it when we turned to the left here? into turn 3. Yeah, it's just one wheel on the grass. I'll definitely give a style point out for that hold. That was impressive stuff. Oh dear me, a little bit of lag again, I think, for Senior Fact. That wasn't going rallycross racing. And look at the drop of sunlight at this stage. The headlights have come on just while we were watching a replay, would you believe? Leading our field is Bijan ahead of Red and Dummy, with Tequila Monkey and Senior Fact here on screen. Behind them, Nicky Lauda and Comacopa. And then you've got Dinosaur in P8 as the gaps are opening out slightly now. This is Senior Fact, having just been passed by Tequila Monkey, whose next target is clear. 4.7 seconds in front of him is the double race winner. Remember, we've only had 2 races. Dummy for Team Mega in the Lexus. This is Ferrari of Kimi's racing team, Tequila Monkey. I believe team captain is Tequila, or it may be Aria. I'm not 100% sure. Flash says hello. Hello to Flash. Good to have you with us. I hope you're here cheering on Thump and his teammate, your teammate at the moment. Unfortunately, while you're here, Flash, I'll just give you a quick update of those drivers. I don't know why I'm getting that. We've got Sock and Thump, I'm afraid, at the back of the grid, having both picked up some damage. One Sock in front, Thump in behind. They didn't make contact with each other, just the barrier, I'm afraid. Yeah, your Lamborghini not being driven to quite the speed that perhaps it's used to be being driven by your guest driver today, Thump. But I'm sure he's doing his level best, as are the team in his ear, making sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. This is Bijan, 4.4 seconds in the Bugstein Nismo GTR, ahead of Red in the Ferrari with his red wheels in P2. An impressive run from Red. He's been off track a couple of times that I think are genuine, several times that are definitely not, from lag to the server. And he is running at the moment in that second place, but he's done 2 medium stints as far as my memory serves, so I think he will still have to run the ill-favoured hard tyre. It is getting dark on the circuit. It's slightly brighter, as you can see, picture in picture for Dirtbag Larry's point of view there, and that is Red going very slowly indeed. Now, what is happening with Red? That looks for all the world like a possible disconnection from Red. I think his throttle has just completely disconnected, has it? He's gone. He's gone from the room, and our second disconnection tonight. Mappy and Red have both been kicked or lost track of what's happening. Unfortunately, Mappy and Red retiring from our race. There will be DNFs, and Red was doing such an amazing job at this for this race so far, and that is absolutely heartbreaking. Bijan then running low on fuel, front brake discs glowing as he heads into the Casio Triangle. Behind him will come Dummy in the special livery for Team Mega. Okay. Another absolutely crazy situation. Now, this could be all to do with my connection to the host of the server, Soulshock. That would be unusual. Some of the usual suspects are struggling with lag, but just to check that Dummy didn't just go absolutely postal. No, that was all fine. It was okay. Heart failure here in the comms box for not the first time today. Bijan 7.8 seconds ahead of Dummy. Ahead at 2.4 seconds further back is Tequila, losing track of the lead at this stage. Tequila on the medium tyres, having started on the hard tyres. Senior Fact also started, if memory serves, on the hard tyres, and then he's gone on to a second set of hard tyres. That is unusual for me, unless he's going to try and use the softs at the very end of the race. A change of his compound is required. But Empire saying, getting some epic commentary moments. Thank you, Empire. I'm glad you're enjoying it anyway. It's certainly frightening for me as the 888 of Senior Fact runs through. Sorry, the 333 of Senior Fact runs through Degner 2. The wind has changed direction as well towards the west. It was south-south-east when we started. The drivers, I'm sure the team engineers will be keeping an eye on that and just alerting their drivers. Those changes are really important in a grip limited circuit so much as this Suzuka circuit. Of course, unique among racetracks in the world, being a figure of 8, at least, except unless you count those dirt tracks in the US where they run figure of 8 without an overpass. But yes, in terms of prestigious racetracks around the world, full-size FIA Grade 1 tracks, unique among the population in world tracks for being a figure of 8 is the Suzuka track. Niki Lauda in P5 is running ahead of Comacopa. Let's perhaps switch to Comacopa's point of view. For some reason, and this is really unusual for Comacopa, he's not streaming today. So I'm just going to ease off on the picture-in-picture for a few moments. Let's just have a quick look at what they are talking about. Well, I can tell you that Comacopa has been asking what the gap is to the car behind. Actually, we've just got an issue there for Senior Fak, I believe. No, it's Bijan pitting to drop down into 4th position. 5th, 6th position for Bijan on the 1st of the 2nd. Internet has gone for just a second with red, unfortunately, he says. Unfortunately, 1 second is enough. There is no sort of protection for the drivers. There's no auto mode, it seems, in Gran Turismo, like there is in F1, for example, where the car continues to run at a predetermined AI speed, which is usually set slower in league racing, but unfortunately no rejoining available. I can tell you that Comacopa has been asking about the gaps to the car behind and the car in front. What tyre is the car in front on? Now that does tend to depend on whether the driver in front has told Hector the truth. And I don't know how many drivers are, because tyre selection is governed by whether the drivers have told Hector what they're on or not. Now, it's to their advantage in terms of guessing tyre wear and conditions and temperatures, but it might be to their advantage also to lie to Hector, who will then pass on that lie to the drivers behind. I wonder if we can start training Hector to lie on our behalf. That would be quite an interesting one. Comacopa in P5, Bijan in P6 at the moment, with just behind him, this is Dinosaur in P7. I'm going to see what else the drivers are asking. Phil has just asked to be kept up to date from Hector with who is pitting. That's important to Phil today, it seems. So that's an interesting one. I'm just going to also preview our fuel consumption. This is for Phil, and you can see some projected empty points of the refueling coming as well. So we can see that it will be lap 18, 19 perhaps, when Phil is projected to run out of fuel. And actually that does seem to bear a lot of truth when you look at his fuel load as well. So we were using this extensively in S2, but it is a little bit difficult with Tequila and Uncle Pants having disconnected or not being connected at all to our Hector race engineer today. There is P-Reeve. I'm just going to turn that off for us, and we shall just have another look then as Bijan, and I think that's Bijan, is it? And Comacopa swapping positions. Here he is. This is Bijan. That is Dinosaur. Is that Comacopa having pitted? Is that the situation, perhaps? Certainly, there was a driver just in the pits. I think that was Dummy in his 2nd pit stop. It is Dummy in his 2nd pit stop then, and exiting now. So we shall see if Dummy has fitted enough fuel, shall we? I will just check on that fuel consumption chart. Let's have a look at that. I can't actually check, but essentially that will update momentarily, and we'll see. He's still got his hazards on as if we're going safety car situation, but he's 1.1 seconds away, much less than that suddenly from his teammate. But I imagine, yes, he has pitted to the end of the race. Just over 20 minutes remain for our drivers before the checkered flag will be waved. Dummy completing the move then through into P6 on a new set of hard tyres behind Bijan. Let's get rid of all of that for you, and then you can hopefully see what's happening. Bijan then is in P5. He's on a new set of hard tyres, and he should be fueled to a finish as well. Ooh, and struggling on those new hard tyres as well, so that's 5.2 seconds ahead of Dummy. These drivers ready to finish the race out. They've chosen a mixture of medium and hard tyres so far. Tequila Monkey, let's just check in on his tyre usage and fuel remainder. Probably 2 or 3 laps remaining on the fuel. Similarly on the medium tyres as well, just judging that nicely. Simucube is genuinely off track here momentarily. Let's have a look. That could be something that ultimately decides the positions at the end of this race. Just a momentary mistake like this that might be about to happen. That is getting into turn 1. A huge slide happening. How about this from Simucube? He avoided turning fully around, but unfortunately that is a big loss of time for Simucube. So he is now 6.5 seconds behind Tequila Monkey, and I'm sure his team will be keeping him informed about that. Very low lit around this Suzuka circuit. Of course, I apologise for the fact that we can't actually see a great deal on track at the moment. Niki Lauda in P3, Commentator in 4th place at the moment. These drivers have yet to make what I believe to be their final pit stop, with some 18, just under 19 minutes to go. And that was, I think, possibly Dinosaur getting out of the way of everybody. Certainly it was a mega car, and I don't think that Dummy would be slowing to that degree. But Commentator in 4th, and we have Bijan in 5th place. This is Commentator on your screen right now, following Niki Lauda in 3rd place, still with those pit stops still to make. Let's have a look at Dummy's gap to the leader. That is 32 seconds. That is about 12 seconds minus any fuel that goes into Tequila Monkey's car. That is about 12 seconds behind Tequila Monkey. So we'll see how long he needs to refuel. I know Tequila was running fairly empty, so he will need quite a bit of stationary time here to make that up. And then Red has joined into the live chat. I'm so sorry with your connection, Red. I hope you can follow some of the advice that has been left in the Discord, or you can call your ISP, because that is really awful. You were doing a fantastic job, really strong, as Empire says. Yeah, GG for Red. That was very, very impressive with the pace. I'm sure that doesn't help you right now, but I think on reflection after a couple of days, hopefully you will feel a little bit better. Niki Lauda and Commentator head on in. 300 laps, says Red. Oh, wow, you definitely proved your mettle today, Red. I wouldn't say it's for nothing at all. Dummy in P4 then, now overtaking Niki, Commentator, Dinosaur, who all pit at the same time. Dummy's gap to Tequila Monkey, 32.9 seconds. So that is still the pit stop to make. His gap to Simucube is going to be some 25 seconds, which is right on the bubble. I think right on the bubble, as Ren says, heads up to Red. Yeah, be proud of the pace you showed today and consistency at the start. But yeah, we should be obviously very cautious when we see lag on the car like we have done. There's not much drivers can do. Unfortunately, this is motor racing. Failures and mechanical issues are part and parcel of motor racing, especially long distance motor racing, like this 1-hour endurance race with 4 time multiplier here in Suzuka. As they head down into the hairpin here, that was Bijan ahead of Dummy, running through. So Dummy still 32 seconds, but gaining significantly right now. As his hard tyres are in a good place, he's gaining significantly on Tequila Monkey, our American Team Mega driver, Dummy here. So let's see what happens as he runs through and completes. But you can see now the gap dropping down to just under 32 seconds momentarily. Tequila Monkey now pits with 10 litres of fuel left in the car. It looks like the medium tyres have failed him. Ren's offering to fix Red's network there. It's kind if you can do it. As Dummy's in 4th place now, and we'll see where Tequila Monkey comes out of the pits in a few moments. The fuel is only just going in now, so I imagine he will be rejoining behind Dummy. This is coming out of the last curve. Good name for the final turn on the circuit as he comes out of the pit lane now. It looks like Bijan is going to get in front of him, yeah, comfortably. Bijan getting in front. He's fueled and tied to a finish. Dummy then is going to be 1.7 seconds, so it looks like Tequila Monkey has been able to overcut twice in this race, fantastically here, and with the gold wheels and gold rear wing of the reigning champion of the S1 division. It's certainly working very nicely indeed. Simucube still to make his final pit stop, but he may well be able to use the medium tyres now with less than 15 minutes remaining in our race, so it's definitely going to be a showstopper to the finish. So stay with us to the very end, because I think any of the top 4 drivers here can win this race on current form and pace. Dummy has got a job to do. He's on the hard tyres. Tequila Monkey's on the mediums. They will peak and then they will dip throughout the course of this stint. I don't think they will dip dramatically to a finish. So Dummy is going to have to get the job done here. He's already gained a second on Tequila Monkey on this warm-up lap, on Tequila Monkey's out lap. Bijan, though, still in front of this group, but only just. And Senyorfak hoping to pit, who will almost certainly pit and come out behind the entire group, but with some fantastic pace. 4 different car manufacturers, 4 different teams represented, of course, and Dummy, your double race winner so far in the season, but with a lot of work to do here, as it is essentially advantage Bijan here in the Nismo Bugstein white and teal race car. How many laps, says Aussie? It's set by our race time, so time will elapse and the checkered flag will come out and the leader will finish the lap he is on. Well, every driver will finish the lap that they are on at that point, so when we get close we'll have a better idea. They're currently running in the 2 minute and 4, 2 minute and 5 kind of range, as that is Senyorfak then in and back out of the pits. Where is he coming out? There it is, behind everybody. So the top 4 are now Bijan, Tequila Monkey, Dummy and Senyorfak, with quite a gap, quite a bit of work to do. 4.9 seconds off the lead of the race with 13 minutes to go for Aussie anyway. 13 minutes, so in the region of 7 laps to go. I would say we're going to lap 30 by the look of things at the moment. This is Tequila as he drives down. I'm going to give you Senyorfak's. No, I'm not. I'm going to offer you Senyorfak's point of view and then take it away very quickly, because I cannot do that. This is Dummy then. We'll ride with Dummy instead. That's his fuel calculation. But his run then is Dummy, the double race winner to this point. As they run through the order, it is Bijan leading Tequila Monkey. Hard tyres. Tequila has managed to save those mediums for this final stint. And I imagine Senyorfak has done exactly the same thing. Confirm that. Komakopa has got himself ahead of Niki Lauda as they finish out the last sector of this race. Dinosaur is in 7th, showing very well for Team Mega at this point, and Dirtbag Larry in 8th for Coach Dave Academy. Uncle Pants is 9th for Brokaga, with Sock for Jamplakt running 10th. P-Reeve for Delesi is in 11th, and Thump is in 12th. But all eyes then at the front of the field as we ride on board with Dummy in P3, and we watch Tequila Monkey challenging Bijan as we finish out this race with just a few minutes left to go. Fabulous racing so far. The fastest lap still that 202.723. I think if Tequila Monkey's diving down the inside into the Casio triangle, but Bijan holding him off there. Tequila getting a little touch from the car, and I think then Dummy running in to that group as well. Let's ride on board. Let's ride just behind Tequila Monkey. That was a good run through the corner on those medium tyres. He dives down the inside, a real dive bomb. Showed a Dummy to the outside, braking heavily, and Bijan turns across him. He was halfway across, and then it looks like Tequila and possibly Dummy just getting out of shape, but not to the point where he's going to suffer in a big way. Let's go back to live action though, because I think Tequila is closing in once again, and that was attempt number 1 with 10 minutes to go. It's getting super close now, as Tequila is now 0.7 of a second away from Bijan. Has he robbed himself a bit of grip out of the medium tyres? Can Bijan and Dummy hold on the hard tyres? What can Senyorfak and Dummy do to follow this? Let's perhaps we can see all 4 cars from this perspective. This is Senyorfak in the Porsche with the wide flared rear wheel arches. Great grip coming through. Degner too as well. Moves to the inside. Is that a fake out? As he looks for the inside line, he's going to go for the switchback. Is he, as Dummy parks it almost on the apex? That slows the progression of Senyorfak, but they drop behind. They drop behind Tequila Monkey, who is getting close once again. Dare Tequila Monkey go for it into Spoon 1 and close this out. He's going to focus on his exit out of Spoon 2. He's getting a good line into the next corner, but he's getting essentially blocked on the way through as Bijan holds on with these hard tyres, tries to stop the alternate line coming from Tequila Monkey. The tail lights are the only thing glowing in the back of these race cars. But then as soon as they get close with their headlights, that's Tequila Monkey getting another really nice run through the corner. That was Dummy with a mistake, possibly. Tequila Monkey going down the inside once again as Bijan again holds the outside line, but brakes heavily. Tequila Monkey then holds it better this time. He's going to go into the lead as they go through the last curve. Potentially, though, Bijan has got a good run coming out of the corner, but not more than Dummy, who comes... No, that was Senor Fak who made his way through. Tremendous run then from Senor Fak. Dummy left high and dry as Bijan goes down the inside, and he gets too close to the car behind. It's ascendancy for both medium tyre runners. Let's go back to the replay and see how Senor Fak did that. Well, Dummy had already lost it going through 130R, I think, and then just smooth as you like, concentrating on his exit, picking up the toe on the way through the next couple of corners, and then we close in, and unfortunately it was Bijan that kind of made a semi unforced error. It's now the medium tyre runs at the front. What a pass, says Empire, as does Ozzy. Enjoying that one from Tequila. He had a practice go at it on lap 24. He made it stick on lap 25. So it's advantage our reigning S1 champion Tequila Monkey, but Senor Fak is not done chasing this one, and they are on equal terms with, well, even Senor Fak actually has slightly younger medium tyres here, and he's got a very different handling Porsche than the Ferrari. So the Ferrari helping our drivers to move forward in the race. I'd love to hear Red's perspective on that lap 1 turn 2 contact with his teammate while Red is tuning in. But both Red and Tequila Monkey getting a great launch, not necessarily qualifying on the front row, but don't need to in the Ferrari. And that's Tequila and Senor Fak running slightly wide out of the following corners. So does the Buxton Transport Service. Dummy with a much more narrow line as he runs through. It's lap 25 of, I believe, to be 29 or 30 laps as we close in to a finish here. It's Tequila Monkey leading Senor Fak, and as they close down into the Casio Triangle, Tequila doing enough at the moment, at least, for Senor Fak to be just out of range. Half a second is all that separates them. You still ride on board with Dummy, who unfortunately is now down into 4th place, unfortunately for his perspective, of course, but not for the other drivers in this chasing pack. Dummy with consecutive wins, but Tequila with a strong finish, scoring 10 points in the first round, not participating in the second round. Needs to get his championship back on track here, the defending champion of S1. Switching codes to S3, Senor Fak is now playing a waiting game in the Porsche, as the medium tyre runners are elevating their pace relative to Bijan and Tequila Monkey. But Bijan and Dummy now needing to stay in touch, because this could still turn ugly between Fak and Monkey. So let's see what happens. They run through Degner. That was slightly slow, was it, on the run through, and then slightly slidey from Senor Fak as well. That was Tequila with a very late defensive move going into the hairpin. Senor Fak kind of put him into that position by faking a move coming. You asking again, Ozzy? I think it's 4. I think it's 4 laps to go. I think we'll see out the 30th and final lap, but we'll know as soon as we get in towards the 28 lap tick over. It is 1 hour, remember. 5.5 minutes remain of green flag racing. Then we'll enter the checkered flag procedure. Sparky confirming. Empire saying he's on the radio with Senor Fak, and he's got a very cool temperament. He's going to need it, because Tequila Monkey has been robust today. This is Senor Fak round the outside. They're going to go side by side. There's a full-on slide. Neither car was likely to make it through there. Senor Fak completing the move off the circuit. He's going to allow Tequila just back in front, just enough. That's very sporting. Doesn't want to settle this in the steward room later. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to, I'm assuming, get that slipstream going. There is still plenty of time to go. Red says, go Tequila, you've got to win for both of us here. And Senor Fak has, it seems, got the pace advantage, and he's got the tyre advantage by maybe 1 or 2 laps, but that is eradicating quickly thanks to, a little bump. Tequila reluctant to open the door on the way into turn 3, and Senor wanting to go in that way as well, and it's not quite there for them. Tequila Monkey leading by just half a second, getting slightly out of shape. Senor taking an ultra wide line. Now they go into Dunlop, and the Porsche seemingly getting that power down a little bit easier for Senor than for Tequila Monkey, whose tyres are slightly more worn. Tequila braking hard into Degner 1. Then it's harder still to get through. Braking slightly earlier than Senor would like to. Puts himself on the outside. Tequila, he had to make a late move to the inside here. Now we go fully on the outside, almost onto the marbles. Can we make the switch back work? Tequila parking it on the apex, as you have, you absolutely have the right to do. Running through there, just holding the middle of the road. This is a fabulous battle between these two. I apologise to the rest of our racers who have larger gaps to the ones behind. I will perhaps switch out to P5 on our race order. That is Komakopa, who hasn't turned on his race stream at this point, I'm afraid. Senor with a better run. Now this should be the favoured position as he gets the overlap. Can they go side by side through 130R again? Senor will try and peel alongside. Oh, that was too early to cut across, and they both make it through. Tequila's going to feel a little bit aggrieved about that one, because that wasn't quite on as they run into 130R. Let's replay that from the side view, and you'll see that he tried to cut across, but it looked like it wasn't quite there for him. He cuts across now, and there was contact, so that is questionable. Is that leaving sufficient racing room for your rival? But Senor has taken the lead, and now his project, I guess, his plan is going to be to keep this running and get himself an additional 5 seconds further down the road. That is Senor ahead of Tequila Monkeys. They go into the S's. It's unlikely to see a move coming from there. Let's have a look then as Komakopa's in P5. He has got Nicky Lauda behind him in the Nismo, 1.4 seconds behind him. Further back, Dinosaur in 7th place. He's also got a close driver behind him in the Toyota. That's Uncle Pants, as they will be starting close to their final laps. I think possibly Dirtbag Larry will be starting his final lap, but there will be an extra one for the leaders. Sock runs through, and he's right behind Dirtbag Larry as well. This is Dirtbag. Let's perhaps ride with Dirtbag for the last lap or so. P-Reeve in 11th, Thump in 12th. Back to the lead though, as Senor seems to be unlocking the pace, but guess what? Dummy's on the hunt as well for a 3rd place here. Tequila Monkey gets back through. How on earth did that just happen? On the way through the hairpin. This is riding with our leader Senor Does he outbrake himself? I'm sure I just saw Tequila Monkey in front, but nothing. He's slow. He's been told to give it back. I'm guessing Empire will have to confirm that for me, but that looks very much like he's been told to hand the place back, as Empire says this is epic. Confirm for me, Empire. Was that a gifted return? Fuck allowed it, says Empire. Thank you. So that confirms that there will be one more trip after this one through the Casio Triangle. Senor for the 2nd time tonight, refusing an overtake. And that was Dummy getting through into provisional 3rd position as well. Let's run with him. Oh, it's too late on the replay buffer as we watch the ones in front. And back to the front, back to this fantastic battle between them. Bijan Pitts, wide as Bijan Pitt, but that's going to leave him way out of position. He's run out of fuel, I think. That's how Dummy got by. He's miscalculated the fuel. Tequila Monkey has a lot more fuel on board than Senor That's going to be important as well. Let's have a look at the fuel calculation here for Senor It says he has enough on our fuel calculation, but does he? That's the question. On my screen it looks marginal. Just a few seconds left to go then for our racers. Just a few corners for the tail runners then. Let's run through. Will they cross the line before the finish? That is Dinosaur. That is Uncle Pants. They will complete the move. That is Dirtbag Larry with Sock side by side at the line. Larry finishing 75 thousandths ahead of Sock. Pure Even Thump will finish as they were. And this is Senor Fat going the long way round the outside of the Kobayashi hairpin again. Now it is just one or two more opportunities. He's been so strong out of Spoon 2, but he made contact before. Kim is cheering on Tequila, as you would imagine. And then, more contact into Spoon 1. It's not over. It's certainly not over yet between these two. And in fact, goes wide. He's looking for that exit. It's not good enough, I don't think, to take the position before or alongside on the way into 130R. This is it, folks. This is a final lap showdown between these two great racers. Senor Fak has had the lead twice, but he's given it back because of questionable contact. Running into 130R, that's a great run for Senor Fak. Goes to the outside of the Casio triangle now. Tequila braking long, braking early, out-braking himself, does he? Round they go, side by side once again. Tequila posting Senor Fak into the scenery for a moment as Tequila will take the win on the line. Let's have a look at that though, and you can make your own judgment as we run through this one and see if enough racing room was given. Tequila Monkey braking late and long into turn 1, makes the apex but only just stays on the circuit. Then is it a question of not enough room given? We will have to wait and see from the stewards, but on the line it is Tequila Monkey the winner ahead of Senor Fak. What a fantastic final lap there from the drivers. Copa, Dummy finished third, Copa in fourth, 1.3 seconds only behind with Nicky Lauda in fifth, Bijan in sixth. Then we have a battle between Dinosaur, is it, and Uncle Pants, who brakes really late into the final corner. That is what an overtake from Uncle Pants at the end of this run. Let's watch this one on board. This is from miles back. This is on the medium tyres. This is on bare fumes of fuel left. That is Dinosaur running wide, and the game ended before the... I didn't get to see what happened. Lucas says protest. Ren says that was borderline. The stewards will certainly be questioning that one. But wow, what a finish to the race overall. Ben was watching as well. That's great, Ben. I'm really pleased. Thanks for tuning in, our team racing driver, Ben Cox. Please make sure you're following Ben Cox Racing on Insta and YouTube as well. This is Tequila Monkey then winning by a penalty margin, for sure. Nearly 9/10 of a second between the two. That would have to be, even just a single second of a penalty given, and he would lose the win. Tequila ahead of Senor Fak, ahead of Dummy, Copa, and Nicky Lauda. Bijan finishing in sixth. Uncle Pants, how he got that overtake done on Dinosaur at the end in seventh was amazing there. So finishing out in seventh ahead of Dinosaur in eighth. We have Larry finishing in ninth place with a solid drive, and Sock in 10th. Another good drive from a driver who was at the back of the grid at one point. Pure Even 11th with debutant Thump. Unfortunately, we lost Mappy and Red due to mechanical issues, so they have DNF'd. But that is your podium then. Dummy losing his streak, but he stayed on the podium. First, and third. He is probably outside of any penalty awards there in P3. But big question mark for me over what happens out of the stewards' room post race. Tequila Monkey and Senor Fak competing very hard, very hard with each other. And I bet both of them were absolutely loving it. But Senor Fak, he gave the win potentially back. He had a gap of maybe a second, and he gave it back on advice, I'm assuming, from team captain. Will that advice prove to have been a mistake? We shall see. But please make sure that you do whatever you can to support both channels, both mine, and you can like and you can subscribe. There are tips are open as well. But thank you so much. There are ways to join my channel. There are ways, of course, to join SVR. But make sure you head over to @SVR-Racing channel, hit the subscribe button, and tell a friend. Please do whatever you can, and we will build a community and continue to build a fabulous run here. That was S3. That was round 3. Stay tuned on this channel later in the week for S4, the final race at Suzuka, before we head next weekend over to Interlagos for round 4 of the championship for Adrian Newey. The Red Bull Junior cars first on my channel, which will be my POV, and then it will go into S1 straight afterwards on the SVR channel as well. Thanks so much, everybody. What an absolute blast that was. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you stick with us and tune in next week. But for now, thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.